I've had on the School of Greatness. It was one of the top episodes I've ever done in 11 years. Over 1,700 interviews and episodes. I've had some of the greatest sports stars, billionaires, thought leaders, and individuals on the show. But people always keep coming back to this one individual. Someone who has lived a legendary style of life, someone who has an undeniable mindset, and someone who inspires millions of people around the world. So we're going to bring him up. Let's bring it up for a big applause for the one and only David Goggins! Like 5 or 10 push-ups. Can you do a few? I know you got like broken legs right now, but can you do push-ups?
Just so you all know, I have both my legs broken 10 days ago. I'm not fucking playing, but fuck it.
Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on! Let's go, baby! Who's gonna get rid of the boats? Yes! All good.
All right, let's get it going.
All right, let's give him a second to get his breath. So wait a minute, 2 broken legs?
Yeah. So
Tell me the story.
I was born really twisted up. So everybody says, oh, you ran so fucking much. You know, you broke your body. No. I had a choice at 19 years old. So when I was 19, I went to the doctor from the military, and he says, your body's so twisted, you shouldn't even be getting in the military. You got 2 options. That's right. You got 2 options. To either sit back, get a desk job, or suffer a lot of pain with the body you have and deal with a lot of injuries. I chose option 2. Wow.
So how do you,
So the broken legs are basically now, I'm 49, and they're trying to reset my body.
They broke them?
They broke them.
Holy shit.
So I have a plate. So this is, sorry about the ashiness and shit.
Wow.
So went in, broke the leg, put plates and screws, put different kind of hardware on both sides. So that's on both sides. They had to go in, realign the bones, realign the bones from the hip all the way down, and
this was intentional.
yeah.
Wow, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Stay hard up in this, you know? Stay
Stay
hard.
hard.
I want to ask you that a lot of people try to put you in a box. They try to say who they think you are. They try to say things online. A lot of people build you up. Some people try to tear you down.
Right.
I think you have a love-hate with social media because it inspires millions of people, but you hate to be on there at the same time.
Right.
And I think a lot of people think they know who you are because they've seen a lot of interviews now and seen your content. But to set the context straight, who is David Goggins? When you look in the mirror, who are you? Who do you identify as?
The born David Goggins, the guy that God made, the born David Goggins, is a very insecure, lazy, vulnerable, lying, afraid, abused, mistreated, bullied kid. The guy that David Goggins wanted to be was not that. So what people see is a war.
A warrior.
A war going on with who I was made and who I wanted to be. So I can understand why people don't like me or confused, because what you're witnessing on a daily basis is a man fighting with all his might to be someone that he was not supposed to be. Like, I was born with jacked up genetics, learning disabilities, all kind of stuff that I shouldn't be up here right now. So when you are constantly fighting yourself, it doesn't look pretty. It comes with a lot of cuss words. It comes with a lot of bad days. It comes with a lot of reality checks. It comes with a lot of looking in the mirror and calling yourself out, because you're trying to change the exact person that you're not. So yeah, so now the person in the day is just, I work real hard to level the playing field. And level the playing field for everybody the same. And that's what it is, man.
I heard you talk about, you said this in interviews, you just said it now, that you were 300 plus pounds at one point, you lied a lot,
yep.
You were very insecure, learning challenges, all these different things stacked against you. You didn't have good role model.
You gotta start trying to fix. And when you bring a martial artist out, you look at it like, oh my God, man, like, it's a daunting task. That's vulnerability. It's looking at that dirty mirror in the morning time and saying, okay, this is who I'm not, but this is who I lied about being. And so when people say, oh, you're not vulnerable, I don't know who the fuck you're talking to. Because my whole life is all about vulnerability and not caring what others think about me. Because in that caring what other people think about me, that's when you go back to lying. That's when you're going back to covering up who you really are. So you gotta let it all out there. It's an ugly thing.
I heard you talk about greatness a lot in different interviews. You've been on my show, we talked about School of Greatness. A week ago, I got to interview Canelo, one of the greatest boxers of all time, and Tom Brady. Lots of fans, all right. And I just interviewed Tom Brady last weekend, one of the greatest football players of all time. And both of those guys have a very similar way of thinking. I wouldn't say it's the same way of thinking as you, but they are relentless in their mindset of becoming better every day. I don't think anyone can out-top you. I don't know if they break through our legs intentionally to get better, but they have a relentless mindset to get better and be at the top of the game after 20 plus years, each of those guys. And you've been at this for, I guess, roughly 30 years now.
Yeah.
This is your 1923, kind of in that range, where you started to turn the switch on.
Yep.
And said, I'm going to chisel away this lazy, fat mentality, mentally and literally, and transform into greatness for what you're capable of being, for what God created you to be.
Right.
How did that switch turn on? How old were you when it was like, was it a day before and after that you never felt back again? Or did it take a couple months going forward, a month back, until you finally got your groove? When was the switch? And without having any coaches, any mentors, any positive male leaders lifting you up out of this hole, how did you do it yourself?
Well, the thing about it is that there was no switch. And a lot of us think there's some switch that just turns on. Some people are born with greatness in them. They have this family and they have the blood of this greatness. I had the blood of pimps and losers. So there was no greatness blood in me. And so what all of us have, some of us shut it down, is we have a couple of voices in our head. And one voice is telling you, you're good. And there's another voice that's telling you, it's the haunting voice at home, that says we can be a lot better. And I heard that voice every single day. But what I did with that voice was I knew on that side of my head, with that hard voice saying we can be better, there was a list over there. of the work that was going to take me to get there.
A list?
A list of like getting up early, doing this, doing that, dieting, looking good, self-esteem. You got to build that. Like a lot of parents try to build that by telling you. You have a voice inside your head, and it's the most important conversation you ever have in your life is with yourself. And that voice is telling you, no matter what people say, you know exactly who you are. So I am trying to now listen to this voice, build that up. Because once you get self-esteem built up, the rest kind of comes easy. But most of us don't have any pride in ourselves, no self-esteem. We don't have any pride, like self-pride. All the selves are gone. So that list over here was we have to build ourselves up because we know that we are a born loser.
How long did that take you to build that up to where you felt comfortable enough that you believed in yourself?
24 years old. At 24 years old, I listened to that voice for that long. And then, a lot of people know the story, but I was literally just being haunted so bad. I was, 300 pounds, gained a lot of weight, and I was in a crossroads. And when you're a man, a person, someone that wants to succeed, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, it eats at me so bad that I was willing to do anything. So I literally bet on myself and put everything on David Goggins. And I chipped away all the rough edges. And what happened was I created a masterpiece. By slowly listening to myself, by slowly working on myself, by slowly getting rid of all the fluff and the fringe and the bullshit. And said, okay, man, what do you want to be? Because for the longest time, I looked at people and said, he's a cool guy. He plays basketball. I want to play basketball. No? Who the fuck is David Goggins? What do you want to be? How does that look? And I started working on myself versus working on where's the cool group. So, 24.
So that's 25 years ago.
Yeah.
25 years of building this up. Was there a moment? How long did it take for you to fully believe in the mission you were on of building David Goggins? I'm not worried about what others were doing, but going after what you wanted. Was it the first year or two?
I'm still doing it now.
25 years later.
It's not permanent. None of this shit's permanent. Let's go. That's what you understand. Why I'm just 50 years old, and I'm still screaming and yelling and saying stay hard and fucking who's carrying the bullshit. I'm not motivating these motherfuckers. You may hear me, you may get something from it. Every morning I wake up to a 300-pound, lazy, beat down, depressed David Goggins that I have to say to myself, all right, man, we got to start building that mental armor. So every morning that process begins. I start to armor my mind, callous my mind. That's why every morning I start off with wins.
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 What does that look like?
What I realized in life is that the second you pick your phone, if you have a business, a life, a wife, a husband, kids, responsibilities, what comes to that phone and that computer is losses.
When you pick it up.
Not always, yeah. I'm not saying always, but there's a lot of bad news that comes through when you're in business, when you're trying to work hard, when you're grinding. When you're not the boss of your life, it's someone's running it, and a lot of us have that situation right now. You have a lot of losses because you're doing somebody else's shit.
You're reacting.
That's right, always reacting. So for me, I found this out. I need to wake up with a bunch of wins. And I can give myself these wins. I work out. My house is clean. My diet is good. My clothes are laid out. I shave my head. I shave my face. I do all these little things that may not make sense to most people. But I'm winning.
It's self-respect to you.
Exactly. So I'm starting to armor my mind. So the second I pick that phone up, I go to work, and they get a headache in my fucking face. But guess what? I got 25 wins already. I got one loss. So when I go to bed at night, I make sure that I go to bed in the black, not the fucking red. So I'm always winning. And that starts off with you. When you get control, you win. So that's how I live my life. I was always a person that had low self-esteem. No one's gonna give you that shit, bro. People, oh my God, I take days off. If I take days off, this fails. working out for some fucking great six-pack or some great body. I'm working out for this motherfucker right here. Because when you look in the mirror and you see something, you need to make sure that what you see and what your mind sees, it all fucking correlates. It's not like I'm a bad dude, but I'm 300 fucking pounds and I'm fat. No, you're not. So I like to make everything correlate and make sense.
I mean, because a lot of people get false rewards today, right? They think that they're actually doing the work, right? They're getting a false reward when they don't do it, and they're getting rewarded anyways. How much of that insecure old self still is in you today, or still shows up inside of you? Like you said, when you wake up, you still think about being 300 pounds, you don't want to go back there. But is it a consistent thing, or is it just once in a while?
There's triggers. Like for instance, every time I come up on stage to speak, every podcast, I have to go into a room and usually be by myself. Because growing up, I stuttered a little bit. I had white splotches on my skin, patches of hair falling. I was a stressed out fucking kid. Every time I get in front of an audience, I look out in the audience and it's like, oh shit. I remember when I was in elementary school, and I had one line, and I stuttered and I walked off stage, and didn't finish the fucking line. So every time I come up on stage now, that comes with me. But if I just stayed back in that room and didn't attack all these many problems I have, what happens is you stay the same. There's one thing in life. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. You're not staying the fucking same. So if I stay back in that room, I'm getting worse. That's why every day I'm trying to attack myself. I'm literally going to war with myself every single day, every single thing I do. That's so many problems.
The weak self.
Yes.
The old self.
The old self.
The lazy self.
That's right.
Clap it up for that. So, I think people really love to try to understand the way people think, and I think because you're such a one-of-one human being, you stand alone in so many ways, you're so public now, even though I know you don't like social media, you don't want anyone to do a documentary on you, but I think people come here to watch you, and you being backstage, I saw you before you came into the room, and then you went to your room to kind of prepare. Can you shed some light on what that process is like for you when you're back in the room alone? What's going through your mind? Is there a visualization? Is there meditation? Is it just saying, stay hard, do you remember yourself? Like, what's the process look like for you?
So it's a building process. And so what happens back in that room is I put my head down because I'm actually going back in that room. So I'm not looking at you right now because now I'm back in the room. So everything I do, I am trying to, that's why I like people to be like. When I come out to a dead crowd, that's why most people are not successful. Because this is what life really is. This is how it is in your brain. It's quiet. And when it gets quiet, you have time to think. When you have time to think, usually your thoughts are not in a prepared, compartmentalized manner.
They're not positive.
They're not positive. So for me, when I come into an area, I know that there's a chance. I may be speaking to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people. It may be a dead crowd. It is my responsibility to make sure that when I come on stage, I have enough fucking energy for 8,000 motherfuckers. So if I come out and I have lazy, unenergized, demotivated, my boss has me here type of people in the crowd, I gotta make sure I wake their fucking minds up just enough, because it might be the one thing I say that makes me fuck up your whole life.
Let's go! What's the thing? Let's imagine 13-year-old Goggins.
Okay?
What's the thing you wish, if you would have come to an event like this, which I'm sure no one got you into events like this or put you in a positive state, but let's just say hypothetically you're in the front row at an event like this, and you're 13, 14, 15, and you're in a messed up state, you don't know who you are, you're trying to be friends with everyone, you're trying to please people, like I was like that too.
Most of us are.
Yeah. What's the one thing you wish you heard as a teenager that could have woken you up?
It's funny you say that, man. The one thing I always had was clarity.
You had that.
I had clarity. I didn't have anything else but that. And when I was 15 years old, I had an opportunity to go to a camp. It's called PJOC. I was a Civil Air Patrol. There was this pararescue man, Air Force guy, that jumped out of planes and saved down pilots. Long story short, I was 15 years old in the crowd. And I always felt bad for myself. I was always the only black person in everything I fucking did. Always. So you know, I just feel weird about that shit. This is a problem you need to get the fuck over. So I'm sitting there, and this guy walks out, and he fell 13,000 feet to his death. Okay?
Parachute down.
Parachute down. These Navy SEALs came on, they gave him a thyroidotomy, opened his airway up, he died twice, went to operating room, died again. He's alive today, Scott here, one of my best friends. I sat there, looking up, Scott Joseph Perry. I sat front row. All these fucking kids didn't hear what the fuck he was saying. I was just like, I was always looking for something to grab onto. And so, the piece of advice I would give myself at that age is to probably not follow, to do more of what I was doing in that audience. Because I was one of one. There was nobody else there. I heard him, I listened to him, I was able to focus on him. And from that, I was able to derive all the power from what that message was telling me. So, for me, it would be more of gaining energy, gaining knowledge, gaining more focus, because it was all around me. Sometimes I would hear it, but not apply it. I'd have to hear it 4 or 5 times, fail 10 times, and then I got it. You know, there's a lot of knowledge out there I should have listened to one time. I wouldn't have been in so many bad situations if I heard from wise people that I trusted and just did what the fuck they said to do versus finding out for myself the hard way.
I'm curious, for those that listen to my show, they know that I like to ask hypothetical questions, and this just triggered a new one for me. You gave some good advice to your teenage self, and I know that you're constantly trying new things now today. You're becoming a scientist, you're studying for paramedics, medical stuff, you're understanding the body, all these different things you're studying.
Right.
And I grew up similar in the fact that it took me an hour to just remember one thing on a page after reading it over and over again.
Right.
And I know how painful it is and how tiring it is to try to study basic stuff, let alone medical terms and things you're going through now.
Right.
If you could go 11 years in the future to 50-year-old self, what's the thing that David Goggins needs to hear today from 60-year-old you? So 49 today, you go to 60, what's the message your future self would tell your current self?
Well, right now, what I'm doing, and everybody needs to do this. If you're going to be successful in life, this is one of the biggest keys. Study yourself in the beginning of your life. Master yourself. Master all the things that you are not good at. Master your mind. What triggers it? What are the trip balls? What are the trip wires? What are the bombs that blow you up? What are the things that set you up? Master your mind. So then you can start to master people. Because that's where it is.
What do you mean by master people?
If you want to be successful in life, in any area of life, you have to learn to master people. What are they going through? What are they dealing with? What is their psyche right now? Because the only way to get into someone's mind is to master what the world is going through. What are people? Worry more about people than you do yourself. And then what happens is you start to figure out the answers to business, your life, success. Because most people are like, why am I not? Why am I not? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know the right shit. You don't know your fucking audience. You don't know your people. And therefore, you're going nowhere. People know, why the fuck did you make it so big, man? I didn't try. I was being me. But I knew there's a lot of fucked up people just like me out there that are tired of hearing it spoken the same way. Like, where's the realness? Where's the authenticity? Where's the vulnerability? So therefore, I was me, I am me, to a bunch of people that are looking for a different voice that says, okay, so you can cuss your ass off and that's okay. You can be vulnerable as hell and that's okay. You can still be successful coming from where you came from, that's okay. You can tell people you lied, you cheated, you weren't a great person, and that's okay. Yeah, it's fucking okay. So I studied people, and that's where the 60-year-old me, I'm going there now. Continue to know what people need, and then you can give them what they need.
So you studied yourself for the first part of your life, and now you're studying others and humanity at this stage more. So you can understand and serve people better is what I'm hearing.
The only way to be a good servant is know the fuck you're serving.
I've heard you talk about nothing is missing inside of you. Nothing's missing in your life. Like you wake up and you exert yourself to the fullest you can on a consistent basis for the last 25 plus years. And the reason nothing is missing inside of you is because you keep callousing your mind, you keep carrying the metaphorical boats, you keep breaking your leg, you do whatever it takes to chisel away the old and become the greatest version of you. A lot of people, I'm assuming,
when I say that, what you just said, I take such fucking pride in that. That's the only thing I've ever wanted.
What?
To give everything I fucking have. And to find more. And if I'm misunderstood for that, I'm happy. I'm so fucking happy you do not understand me. Because that means I am the response that I've always wanted to be in. When I break my legs, because I know I can go somewhere else with my life, and I have 3 leg breaks on purpose to rearrange and realign my body. I don't have to. I'm a multi-millionaire, bro. I can, and it's not running, it's everything. There's still more to give. And so when you said to me, the hair in the back of my neck stood because I don't give a fuck if you like me, like the color of my skin, like how I talk. The fact that you know that about me is all I fucking care about. I'm willing to go as far as to go, man. That's it. That's real.
A lot of people, I feel like, in life, go up to 70, 80%. Maybe. I'm being generous, right? Let's just call it 70%, 80%, maybe not even. In your standards, it's probably way less than that. But people think they've got good careers, maybe they've got a solid business, maybe they're making some money, maybe they're in decent shape, but not in great shape. Right? They've got a relationship that's okay, but it's not great. They've got a couple of kids, whatever it is. Right? They're living life, they're doing good. Well, most people are afraid to go for great.
Yeah.
They're good at 70 or 80% because it's comfortable.
Right.
What do you think it will take for people to want to chisel away the masterpiece inside of them? And do you think people will really do it, even if they know the secret, because it is so hard to do?
You know, that's why this is the best time in the world right now. Because back in the day, there were a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of people who wanted to exhaust themselves, who wanted to go to the grave not deserved.
Used up.
They wanted to go to the grave used up. I'm not saying that like, go break your legs or beat yourself. I'm not saying you're getting so. People want to get me misunderstood because it makes them think he's crazy. So they want to misunderstand me. Therefore, they can say, shut this guy out. Nowadays, the best time to be great. Because if you give somebody $1 million, fuck man, I'm good, bro. You just gave me $1 million, I can do this, and this. I'm good. And that's the mindset now. So there's very few people. If you're 70%, that $1 million range, I'm good. So right now, There's a lot of 1%ers. And it's time to strike. Because it's those people who are looking for that 30, 40, 50 more percent who are trying to shut that mental governor off. And I call it the 40% rule. Jump all the time, when you have a car, and a car can go, it says 130 on the odometer. But the factory put a governor in it, so it goes 91 miles an hour. We do that to our brains. But Ford is not the factory of David Goggins. David Goggins is the fucking, I am the factory. So I have put these self-imposed governors on my brain. Like we all have. So if you want to go further, you have to learn, why does this governor click on every time it's 4 o'clock in the morning I gotta get up? Why does this governor kick on when you study to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist? Why does this governor kick on every time I get to the last set of my pull-ups? I just don't want to do it, so I go home. Why does this governor come on when my kids need me to do this, or my family needs this? You gotta learn how to turn the governor off, because you are the factory. So if you don't turn it off, it's because you just don't want to study yourself. You don't want to learn and master your own mind.
There's a pain threshold that a lot of people have, and when they hit it,
yes,
they don't want to go past it, right?
No, it's done.
Is there any way to be truly great in your life? I'm not talking have $1 billion, but be the best you can be and the most potential you have, and actually going beyond that. Is there any way to be great for yourself without pain and suffering?
No. No. And I'm not talking about physical. Everybody wants to put me in this physical fucking box. I spend 2 hours a day working out. I spend 7 to 8 hours a day studying.
The workout is easy.
The workout's easy. But I don't go on Instagram with a big ass fucking 2,000-page book. It's not gonna motivate many fucking people. So that's the thing about it, man. To grow, you must suffer. It's the worst process in the world. But there is no growth if you sit back with all these fucking life hacks. That's why a lot of people are famous and popular today. Because there's a lot of life hacks that people buy into to make themselves better. Once again, it's not permanent. While my shit's not permanent, I know every day I'm going to be the guy that I want to be. You don't know me, son. I encountered the bad David Goggins, but I know every single day the good Goggins is going to go to bed at night. Because this isn't a hack. This wasn't a 30-day program. This was a lifelong program. Like I always say, I'm not training for a race. I'm training for fucking life. So that is it.
Let's go. On a day-to-day average over a year, you talk about overcoming the negative voice, the voice inside of you, most of your life. On a day-to-day average over a year, how much time does the negative try to creep in and say, don't do the last rep, eat that, sleep a little longer, just don't work today, don't study today, right? Does it happen a lot, or you just pushed it so far away that when it comes, it just goes right back to where it's from?
It happens when any pain comes up. I'm a human being. Whenever I'm in pain, whenever I'm in those last few miles of a 100, 200, 300-mile race, when I'm in the last several hours of doing 8,000 fucking pull-ups in 24 hours, when I'm in the last, when I'm anywhere, my mind is telling me, dude, what the fuck are you doing? But this is the one thing that I did. The voice that I want to be and created, it beats that other voice down so quickly. The other voice knows I'm just here just to maybe, but I know you're fucking not going to do what I said.
Interesting. So it tries and attempts.
It tries.
And you slap it back down.
It's really quick.
What does that process look like? If you could tell the story of how that is in your minds.
Okay, let's
what
say
does the negative voice say, and then what does the badass Goggins say?
It changes every year. When I'm 24, 300 pounds, eating a box of mini chocolate donuts and chocolate milkshake as a snack between my fucking 8,000 calorie breakfast is saying, this is a good life, bro. You're fat. Enjoy this, man. Good food. You don't care what nobody thinks. Fuck six-pack ass. Fuck all that. This is good. So that voice is very different than the voice now. And almost 50 years old, the voice now is saying is, you've accomplished everything you ever want to accomplish in your life. You have all the money you ever wanted in your life. The fame, the success, you're proud of yourself. That's a really fucked up voice. Because now it's like, why are you doing it?
Enjoy everything.
Enjoy it. Back then, we know why you did it. Because you wanted to get somewhere. And all I wanted to do, it wasn't like I sat back at 24 and said, I'm going to write a couple books. I'm going to be the no. I just want to be better. I want to be proud of myself. So now, when that voice comes to me now, what keeps me going now is I've never been here for myself. That's why I'm such a hermit. I'm such an introvert. I'm so misunderstood. I believe in God, no matter how much I fucking cuss. I don't say God's living thing. I believe in a higher power. And I believe I was here for people to learn from, those who want to learn from me, that you can be in the worst position of your life possible. Have the worst brain, the worst family, the worst anything possible, the worst health. But you're breathing, so you still have a shot. You got a chance. So I don't look at anything more as like, oh, I'm going to enjoy my life. This isn't my life to enjoy. I believe that I am a student, and I need to be teaching people whatever I know to give back to those who may not know what I do know, and those who want to listen.
And so is that the voice that slaps down, the negative voice that tries to creep in and say, you've made it, you've worked for 25 years, you've made it, you're a multi-millionaire, you've got all the success, you can show up and do whatever you want now. Like, is it more, no, you gotta keep serving, and it's not my life to enjoy?
The voice is, what did you make?
Say again?
The voice is, what did you really make? If you're not living for all this shit, if you aren't living to be a millionaire and this and that, what did you really accomplish? You haven't accomplished what you need to accomplish until you help out as many people as you can help out. To actually know you've accomplished something. So that voice now is, okay, man, you still got a job, you're still breathing, you still got to go out here, you still got to help people out. So that's what it is.
We've got a couple of final minutes until we wrap things up. But I'm just curious, I don't think people think you have a weakness. Do you think you have a weakness? If so, what is the biggest weakness for you today?
My biggest weakness, I have so many of them, it's not even, like, it's just myself. Like I said, you're saying, man, every day you wake up. I had a fifth grade reading level in junior high school. Like, laziness. That's why I'm so crazy about discipline now. Because my biggest weakness was being lazy. And it's so funny how many people, they think that what was given to them from birth is what they have to work with. This is where they're fucking wrong, man. You have the ability to outwork and to outwill so many fucking things in this world. That is why I cuss so much. I don't want to cuss a lot. But for what my life is and how I push it, this is just what comes out of me. When I was brought up and I had a hard life, I can't explain my life to you because I can't, man, it was bad. I'm not doing it justice. If I don't put some F's and MFs in there somewhere, that's how it felt. That's the dark delta. So those are the things that you will always struggle with, man. You always struggle with the things that you had trouble with when you were growing up. Because most of us never attacked it. We never faced it.
Can anyone resonate with that? Anyone resonate with that? We've got to wrap things up. And I want to, before we do, I want David and I to stand up, and I want David to leave you all with 3 final things. And they've been here and heard 20 plus amazing speakers, and they've connected with other people today. But if you, again, if there's one person that needs to hear a specific message today, and you can leave them with 3 final things, I'd love for us to stand up and let you finish off with these 3 final messages. If you guys want to stand up and bring the energy one more time before he finishes off.
All right, so thank you for the energy. Thanks for coming out to hear me speak. A lot of us in here are afraid to be misunderstood. Do not, thank you, sir. Do not be afraid to be misunderstood. A lot of times in life you are going to be tired. You're going to be beaten down. You're not going to want to do what you have to do to get to where you want to go. How many in here have goals that they have not met? Raise your hand. How many here want to be rich as fuck? How many here want to have a great family? How many here want to reach greatness? How many here want to look good? Want to be the best shape of their life? Okay. Well, I have one party motherfucking word for it. Little sentence, little phrase. If you want all this in your life, and you want to become successful as you can, you want all of those goals from money to success, to great family, to being smart, great house, great cars. Guess what you have to do? You gotta stay hard, but you gotta do this. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
Give it up one more time for David.